Hello, creative people. Welcome back. My name is Josh. This is Create the Future. It has been a minute, but there's been a lot of things going on in my life lately that have caused me to kind of have to pull away from all of this. But it's like trying to want to find something fun to do, at least on the weekends. We just recently launched my own business, so everybody's always like, I want to become an entrepreneur so that I can have freedom. And it's like, you don't really get freedom when you start a business. If anything, you have less because you're basically trading a 40-hour work week for like a 90-hour work week. And yeah, so for me, it's like I just want to find something, at least what I can do on the weekends. And I figure I can do this series on the Lord of the Rings Return to Moria. For those of you that haven't heard of this game, it's a fun one. I've actually played through it once already, so I'm actually going to share some things with you as we go. The issue is, it's one of those games that every time you play it, it's different because the story itself is the same, but where things are at tend to move around. So every time you play, it makes for a fun game. So although I'll have some tips and tricks, a lot of it we'll be exploring together. So yeah, right now we're just gonna kind of go through and figure out our character. It's pretty cool. The graphics on this game, I'm not gonna lie, are really nice. For as light as the game is, and what I'm talking about is like the size of it. It's like, for people that know me, like with survival games, was a big fan of Ark, not a big fan of the new version, but this game is fairly small. I mean, if anybody's downloaded Ark, it's like 160 gigs. But this game is quite small, but the visuals are really nice. Yeah, I don't know that I'm gonna give him any tattoos. We can do some scars. We'll do a goblin pike. It's a nice one. And of course, you gotta have the gold for the glitz. But yeah, visuals are nice. I'd use a little on the fit side. And then we'll come in here, we'll give him a brash personality, give you a little sound.
Cause I do. The mountain smiles on us today.
That sounds like a good voice. And then with these origins, I don't necessarily know that it affects the gameplay more so than just the design of their outfits and where they're from. Obviously, you're looking at different clans. So the Glittering Caves is a new dwarven colony established in the 4th Age by Lord Gimli, Lord Bear, and other dwarves from Erebor. They've also been helping restore Gondor and Rohan. I feel like this game also, from a storyline perspective, it comes in after. So if anybody has seen The Lord of the Rings, it comes in after they go through the Dwarven Mine, and of course Gandalf does the whole "You shall not pass," because there's references to them throughout the game of the Lord of the Ring, or the Fellowship of the Rings was through here. Different things that you find. So I think that's from a timetable where things are at. But this dude looks pretty cool. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna save and we're gonna use him. I'm just gonna randomize the names until I find a cool one. Fror, that looks cool. So we're gonna save this guy. We're gonna create a new world. And again, these are all systemized. So there's random layouts, as you can see. It's a story-focused generation of Moria with some random layouts and elements. So every time you play it, it's a little different. The story itself, similar rooms, but everything moves around. So I'm going to leave this as a campaign. We're going to create it. I'm going to leave it as it is. For difficulty, once you create the world, if you hit the start button, you can kind of come in here and change the difficulty, whether you want it to be hard, normal, solo, story. I tend to leave it on normal because when you're actually in the game, you can customize it. There ends up being a customized field, and I changed the settings a little bit, especially for this playthrough on YouTube because nobody wants to see me like just grinding all day long, as well as like always fighting something. Which I mean, it could be fun because you can see me die a bunch of times and cry and laugh in vain at me, but not ideal for me. So, but once we get into the actual game, I'll show you how to change those settings so you can kind of make things a little easier to do. You can host this online, which is nice, so that you can invite your friends and you guys can all build together, which makes it a little fun when you're fighting things and exploring the world and chasing each other around. But for me, I'm just going to play offline. And we're going to launch the game. There's a little story at the beginning that I'm going to go on mute. You guys can take a little listen.
Yes, dwarves from every clan have answered your call, despite the King Under the Mountain's objection. Lord Gimli, Erebor will not support entering the Black Pit.
If the king wants to stop us, he can come himself.
Every attempt you've made has failed. This is a sign.
No signs or kings are going to stop us. This is the time to reclaim Khazad-dûm. Today, we get into that mountain. Any luck?
Nah, won't budge.
Did you try speaking friend?
Now, why didn't I think of that before? You did your best. On to plan B.
Ah, finally.
Plan B? Is that blasting fire?
I'd stand back if I were you.
This is madness! Gimli, you can't! We have to wait for Durin!
Durin's not here. We have to do this ourselves. Maybe this will wake him up. Limin Barak, Limin Tagaz, Khazad Dashtin.
Oh, no! Lord Gimli! This is another sign!
Oh, hammer and tongs. It's the Fourth Age. Nothing is going to stop us.
You heard Lord Gimli. Let's go. Pack it in. Yes, nice and tight. Come on, help him out.
That was no normal dwarf blast.
So, welcome to Return to
I need
Moria
a torch.
gameplay.
Too dark for dwarf eyes.
This game is a lot of fun in my opinion. It's a light game, but as you can see, the visuals are really nice. Again, for like I was sharing earlier, that the game is extremely light in size, but from a visual, it's really nice. The controls were probably one of those that I had to adjust to. It's not like your normal control with like whatever way you're looking is which way you're gonna go. I mean, to a degree it is, but it is also possible to be like running away, but then looking backwards to see if something's chasing you. So the controls are a little wonky, but a lot of your games, I mean, there have been a number of games over the years that have been very similar to this. So you adjust pretty quickly. Everything else is pretty straightforward. You got your hotbar at the bottom, or you got your quick access. You're using your LB, RBs to access that. If you hit down on the D-pad, you have quick build items that you can get quick access to if you want to build stuff.
There must be a way back to camp.
X to
Could
collect.
try the
This is
doors
also
of
one of those
Durin
games
from
that you
inside.
want to collect
Let's get
everything.
going.
And that, with that in mind, we're gonna go pause. And if you go RT to settings and go to difficulty, this is where you can change your custom. So we're gonna turn our difficulty to default. Enemy aggression, we're gonna leave on high, just so things aggro. Survival, we'll leave on default. Mining and world drops, we'll leave on high. Horde frequency, we're gonna turn that down a little bit, just so that things aren't always attacking us. Siege, the same thing. And then the patrol frequency. So it makes this playthrough a little easier. That I'm not always just kind of getting attacked, even though, like I said, it would be fun for you guys to watch. This is one of those games that you want to go around and look at all the nooks and crannies and collect everything that you can find. Left joystick, if you push in, you get your speed. If you hit up on the D-pad, this is how you get access to your quick menus, where you can hit RT and LTs for your building, your crafting, being able to see where you're at on the map, kind of following along on the story, as well as goals, which are also shown on the main screen in the top right hand corner. That throughout the game you're going to have goals and milestones to kind of follow along to work through. So for instance, right now we need to craft a pickaxe. There was one in there that says, hey, I need a torch, so we're gonna come here and create a torch. We're also gonna create a pickaxe. Stuff by default is going to be thrown on your D-pad, which if you just, or your hotbar. So if you just use LB/RB and focus on something, it's going to open that up, which is really nice. To be able to move stuff around on your hotbar, go up to, hit up on the D-pad, go to the inventory, and then you can also, if you select something with A, you can move it to your pack. You can also use that to move stuff around on your hotbar for the things that you want to access often. Kind of the quick buttons: B's roll, A's jump, X. I don't even know if X does anything right now, but it will. And then Y. Also, if you don't want to use up on your D-pad, Y brings you into your inventory quickly. So D-pad's gonna bring in the menu, which whatever tab you left, it's gonna stow. So like a lot of times I'll leave it on map so I can hit the D-pad. Actually, I lied. I thought it did default, but I guess it's always gonna default to build. So if you want quick build, D-pad. If you want quick inventory, Y. But I wish there was a way that you could default something to say, hey, this is what I want to always set. So I can like up D-pad, map, Y, backpack. Yeah, so our next objective is to dig through this rubble. Rubble looks like a bunch of rocks and dirt, stone, and also you get the stone. You can get stone if you just hit this. You'll get it very slowly. Rubble was dig through it obviously a lot faster, and at the same time you're collecting stone. And then because in the custom settings we said resource collection high, we're gonna get a bunch of it versus just a slow collection.
Firelight.
And
We are not
jump
alone.
up on everything. Next tutorial was obviously collect mushrooms, which we're seeing on the ground. But I am going to collect everything. Throughout the game, you do see these fallen dwarves, which are past dwarves that you can honor. Before they disappear, you can see that it drops something. Make sure to pick those up because it's how you build this memorial flame, which gives you some perks throughout the game that I remember the first time I played this, I didn't realize stuff dropped at when you were honoring them, and ended up having to come back and collect the first few because I missed them. And I'm like, how do you build this? And it's like, you need this. And I'm like, how do you? And then I was like, how do you get that? And it's like, you collect them here. It's like, oh, didn't know that. Did not see that fall out. So make sure that you collect it. So in order to eat the mushrooms, they're gonna get in your hotbar, but if they're in your inventory, you just kind of go and there'll be a X to eat. If they're on the hotbar, just kind of hover over them. So for food, you don't have to worry about water, but you have to worry about food. So in the bottom left-hand corner, the red bar is your health. The yellow bar that you can obviously progressively increasing is your food. It's one of those things that you're just gonna have to deal with. Eventually you can create crop plots and everything, so it's easier to get food. But at the beginning, you're kind of just eating some raw mushrooms. But throughout the game, you also run into Eric, who is, I think, a crow. And well, I'm gonna go on mute so you can hear what he has to say.
Are you from our camp?
Thank the winds. I am Arik, son of Arak. Yours is the only friendly face here.
What's happened to the rest of camp?
I cannot tell. A curse, ill curse. It blocks me.
Could you search for another way out? For any other survivors?
I will search. You go east, see what you can find. I will fly to you when I can.
So that's Eric. That's really the only positive interaction you have almost throughout this entire game. That he kind of helps along with the story. But yeah, he doesn't really help much. He's just more just interactive elements. So as I shared earlier, you have the hot bar. So pushing down on the D-pad, you can kind of switch through these if you want to have different things as your hot items. Obviously, you'll get more resources than the rope ladder and the quick platform over time. But obviously, for me, honestly, I pretty much stick to the quick platform almost the entire game, just because you need this for like scaffolding to move around, and a lot of times you'll come up against like these types of walls, and the resource that you actually want is like at the top, so you'll like create scaffolding to kind of get up to that resource versus like mining through everything. So I literally just left scaffolding as my hot bar or my quick item. Through here, and a lot of this has been the same as previous playthroughs, or my previous playthrough. So I'm waiting for something to shift. A bunch of stuff, and I know this is a story element, so I'm going on mute.
Doors of Durin. What's wrong with it? I've never seen runes with such shadow. No wonder we couldn't get it open from the other side.
So somehow or another, this mine has been cursed, and that is kind of the play of the entire game of you trying to get out of the
What's
mine.
wrong with it? I've never seen runes with such shadow. No wonder we couldn't get it open from the other side.
So like I said, I'm a collecto in almost every game I play. So I'm going to go through
What's
and
wrong with it?
almost hammer
I've
on
never
everything
seen runes with such shadow.
and try to collect
No
as much
wonder
as
we
possible.
couldn't get it open from
So
the
for
other
instance,
side.
as I shared, the sign of the fellowship, this is where you kind of get an idea of the timelines. So we're interacting with this. It's a little story. If you go into the menu, the fellowship was here. I found a wee set of Shire-made travel plates and forks. These must have been left behind by one of Lord Gimli's hobbit companions, perhaps while resting after the Watcher trapped them inside Moria. It must be on the same path Gandalf and Gimli led them. A very good omen. They made it out, so can we. There's a bunch of different story elements that you're gonna be able to interact with throughout the game, which makes a lot of references to the movies. You guys watched the new series on Prime? I can't remember what it was called. It was at the very beginning. They just finished season 2, which was a very good cliffhanger. That was like, all right, obviously there's season 3 because they still haven't connected it to the movies. But it's a pretty cool series. I'm usually not a big fan, especially if it's like Star Wars for the millionth time that Disney's done. It's got a spin-off for every single character, and it's kind of starting to get annoying. But the new Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, is it's a pretty good little series. Like I said, they just finished up season 2. At this point, a lot of things are starting to connect to the original Lord of the Rings. But there's still a lot of like, oh, how's this gonna transition? I'm excited for season 3 whenever that comes out. Right now I gotta that are trying to decide if they want to attack me, because as this being Moria being cursed, it's also overrun with a bunch of orcs. So they're kind of deciding if they want to attack or not. But I'm literally just going to continue collecting resources. What's nice is if you come in your inventory, you're not necessarily weight capped. You do start moving slower as you have more resources and you're carrying things, but you're not really weight capped more so than slot capped. And once things reach a certain threshold, then they obviously start taking, they break into multiples. If you hit both toggles at the same time, it'll sort everything, which is nice. You can drop that. But yeah, you don't necessarily ever run into weight issues. So I feel like I got a bunch of stuff already, so we're gonna continue running through and seeing what else we can find. So we got our first little outpost here. Let's check out what we got inside. So this is different from the last time I played through, because this was a big old ale house the last time I played through, and now it just seems to be a house. These yellow boxes are obviously something that you always want to hit, because they got special items in here. Here's a hidden chest. We'll break, and we'll go upstairs and see what we can find up here. But yeah, like I said, I search every nook and cranny, especially like there's a lot of times where you'll find hidden chests hidden behind a random wall that really doesn't go anywhere, but that chest will have like some really nice goodies in it. So search everything.
We got orcs!
Oh, we got some. Oh, we got some goblins. Hey, it's Eric. Let's see what he has to say.
Ah, Eric! What news?
There's no way west. No way out.
I did not think we would see shadow-cast runes in Moria. Our path, then, must go east.
Long journey. You must prepare. Up here, at that old dwarven camp.
You're right. It's time to find shelter before making our way farther.
I will scout ahead. Stay alive.
With luck, we'll exit the Dimril Gate. For now, we must face the long dark of Moria.
Okay, so suspenseful. So this is our first camp. We got some new goals that we need to rebuild. So first thing first, we need to clean out this area a little bit. So we have some space to build. Do all the fun things. Clear this wall out. We need to reinforce our position so things can't necessarily destroy our base. I'm gonna clear this out. We're gonna go into our build menu here in a minute, and we're gonna close this wall off. Because like I showed in the settings, you do get sieges where things just randomly decide they're going to attack you. So if we go up in the D-pad, oh, I don't have access to it yet. Alright, so let's rebuild the hearth, which is where we will be able to cook food. This also sets the perimeter, the hearth sets the perimeter of your base. So anything like storage units, or you have these pallets over here where you can store resources. As long as you're in the vicinity of the hearth, everything is like kind of interchangeable, which makes things really nice. So for instance, I got a coal pallet here. Now if I come into the D-pad, Now I have all my building stuff. So let's do a door. And activate the hearth first. And then we'll do a wall. And we'll close this up. There we go. So now we got that. So like I said with the hearth, when you're in your build menu and select something, you can see by the ground there's all the circles. That's the area of which you can build your base. You don't have like an indefinite. If you come outside, you can see there's a line here that sets a perimeter of where you can build. Throughout the game, you can have different size hearths, so you'll be able to create bigger bases over time, which is nice. But for us right now, we kind of have this. If we come in here to essentials, we kind of have this medium version. So there's small hearths and camp hearths. If you want to create little outposts as you're going, one of our next goals is to create a bedroll. So we'll get that out of the way. When you create a bedroll, remember to claim it. This also serves as your spawn point when you die. That you'll come to the nearest bedroll. You can have multiple bedrolls throughout the map, so you can have different spawn points. So if you're like wanting to fight a boss, you could put a bedroll down. So if you die, you can easily access that, jump back to like that boss versus like your last bedroll, which makes things a lot easier versus having to like run halfway across the map if your base or outpost isn't anywhere close to the boss. With the pallets, also if you come in here, and I stop having something selected, but if I come down here to the bottom, there's different pallets for different resources. So you can get stuff out of your storage, and my OCD wants to make sure that these things are aligned. So that's stone, and then we'll already have a coal there, so we'll do a wood. Hit RB to switch, to flip things around. And then like I said, anything that you deposit on these different pallets will be accessible when you're like crafting things and building. So our next mission here is to cook a mushroom. When cooking, you can see that I can make 8 things all at the same time. Do not overcook. Only make enough for what you need, because the spoil times in this game are crazy and there's no refrigerators. So what happens is that you get this countdown clock, and then it's going to get put on the meal table. If you don't eat it in a certain amount of time, it just spoils. If you leave it raw, I don't even think there are spoiler timers for raw, but the moment you cook it, then you got to worry about eating it before it spoils. So only create what you need, and usually at least at the very beginning of the game, before you start increasing your health and stamina and food meters and everything, 2 mushroom meals, it will be more than enough every morning, because you go to sleep every night. But every morning I see that 2 mushroom stews, or whatever they're called, is pretty much all you need to get you through the day. So our next thing, build a storage chest. So again, hit D-pad. And we're gonna go up here to wood chest. We're gonna set this by our bed. We can kind of come in here and hit RB, hold RB and quick move, and kind of get a lot of this stuff out of our hotbar. I'm gonna throw the food. Really the only thing I want is the pickaxe. So next thing is rebuild the furnace. So we're gonna rebuild that. Now we got access to the furnace, so we can do iron ingots. There's different level of furnaces as we go. So our next part of the tutorial is finding an iron ore vein, mine that iron, and then craft and collect an iron ingot. So let's go get our pickaxe out. And let's go over here. This is the same that it's always been. And we're gonna mine this iron.
Quiet. I see prey ahead.
Llama. What the heck? I've never seen a llama in this part of the map. I feel like that was a glitch. Usually you only see wolves. The llamas are usually in a different part of the map. So you got regular rock, which gives you stone, but then the gold part here is iron. What's fun is, like, as you're mining, you see this button that says start singing. I'm gonna go on mute here, but if you start singing, it actually increases his mining efficiency. Side note, you have the stamina bars there. As he's more tired, you'll have less energy to play with, but if you eat food, it'll increase that.
Or if I stay by one true love, or if I stay, said she, each hour I spend in your arms, forfeited will I be. Oh, ho, 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 ho.
So now on the left-hand side, you can see I'm in an ore frenzy, which I think makes it so that your stamina drops down, or maybe you don't even have to worry about stamina once he's in an ore frenzy. But I do know it makes things better. I just don't know the actual rules of what becomes better. But I think it's something around stamina. But yeah, we mined all of this, and of course, like as you can see, this is different than rubble, but it is still giving us stone. So I'm gonna collect a bunch of this because at the very beginning, you need a lot of stone to kind of create different things. So we're just gonna go ahead and figure most of this out. And you can kind of see visually what's mineable and what's not. And then that white diamond there is kind of like the focal point of where you're going to hit. So that kind of helps with things. Two things, a quick note is that on the left-hand side you can see in darkness. If someone stays in darkness for too long, he actually starts freaking out. And I believe you start losing health points. And then you can also, there's temperature sensitivity. So if you get too cold over time, you start losing health points as well. So now that we got enough ore, we're gonna come in here. I'm just gonna make all the iron we collected. The big difference here that you need to kind of take note of is if something's in a chest or a pallet, it's accessible, but when you throw certain things like on the hearth or the furnace, you'll see the clock counts down and then it'll just be like it's available. Until you collect it, it's not actually available to use. So you can have a bunch of things just kind of sitting, like for instance right here, you'll see ×1. It's not until I come over here and collect it that I can actually use it. So just take note of that. If just because you see ×1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's like, then you come over here like, I need more iron. It's there, like you gotta collect it. One unfortunate thing. These ruined map stones are really nice. You'll start seeing them throughout the map as you're playing through. You can also eventually build them yourselves. That's how you do your fast travel. Unfortunately, they'd be black diamonds, which is one of the more rarer things in Moria. But because we have our resource custom to getting a lot, we should, when we do find them, get more than one. So it'll make doing the fast travel a lot easier. Because, yeah, it got pretty grindy when you're only collecting like one at a time. And when you find these, it only needs one, but when you're building them from scratch, I think you need like 3. So it kind of makes things problematic. So we got enough iron, so let's go ahead and create our forge. Create, but rebuild. Nice, so that unlocks a whole bunch of things. Now we can come in here, we can see we can get iron ore, or iron sword, iron hill shield, and the iron hammer. The iron hammer is what you use to repair things. So after a siege of your base getting attacked, you'll notice that you'll use the hammer to repair things. And I'll show you how that works once we get to that point. Do I have any more? All right, keep it coming, because we're gonna need a lot of iron. Another thing is these chests. You'll run into a number of outposts as you're playing, and each outpost kind of has one of these chests, but each of them has its own key that you need to create. You'll be able to unlock that key in the forges. Eventually it'll show up under tools. and you'll be able to create those keys. And of course, as you go deeper and deeper into the mines of Moria, the keys are going to be created out of rarer and rarer resources, so that makes things always fun. The iron sword, we need hide scraps, so we need to go kill something. To do that, we're going to go into our crafting menu, and we're going to create an improvised axe, because that's better for killing things. And I'm also going to reorder my hotbar, so that's in the 2 slot. Can I craft? Yes, craft a shield as well, so you have a little bit of defense. And then we'll put that in slot 3. So let's go see if we can find something to kill, so that we can get some hide scraps. Pull up our shield and our axe.
Bring the big guys. Help.
There's a rat. Rat just keeps moving. Here's the let me get here's the brewing tank. So it's moved over here. So this is that brewing tank I was talking about. You can make beer that kind of makes you increases your, I think it's your hit points. And you got the alchemy still here to upgrade all your.
When do we attack? I want to
It's kind of cool with this game that you have all these little outposts that you could literally, once you have the repair hammer, like I could repair all of this and then throw a hearth in here and turn it into like an outpost.
They're not gonna last this night.
Solid in here, yeah. So these ori carvings, they're used for this. These I don't even know what they're called. I don't even know how to say it. I'm not even gonna try to mispronounce it, but you collect them, and eventually it unlocks a bunch of more, especially like usually like healing potions or a lot more of the funner things that you need. I really wish I had. There we go. Okay. I was like, I really wish I had a torch so I could see. There we go. It's like so you guys can see. Dark. The pickaxe is better for destroying things, where the axe is better for chopping down trees and fighting. Side note. Got a wall here. This was similar the last time I played through. Let's see what's on the other side. It's this. Yeah, this is way different. Yeah. So I'm gonna go. My pickaxe is broke, but I'm gonna go in here. Eventually, you'll have a repair smithy that you'll be able to repair your tools.
We got orcs!
I don't have that right now. I'm honestly just going to. I don't know if I can repair it. Yeah, we're gonna come in here. We're gonna drop this, and we're just gonna create a new one once I got metal fragments. Like I said, eventually you'll have a repair smithy so that you can. There we go. Now I can create it. You'll be able to fix all your tools and your armor. So that's coal. There'll be a little bit of iron in there, but that's mostly coal. More coal. Got some onions. What do we got in here? Got some tables. Got a lamp for some flares. do and like destroy a bunch of this stuff, because you'll end up needing a lot of these materials. At least at the beginning, like, ooh, hello. It came out of nowhere. If you hold RT, it'll do a power hit. Or you can just hit RT and it'll, oh, wow. You guys all came out of nowhere. Probably, everybody's probably like, pull up your shield. Probably should. And I almost like needed those guys, because that's what I was out here, we came out here initially for, was for hide. And my inventory's full, so I can't pick that up. Over time, you'll, like right now we're limited to what, 10 slots, but eventually you'll be able to upgrade your pack so that you can hold more resources. But right now we're slot capped. So we're gonna run back to the base. And I'm getting towards the end of this day. It's literally how I figured I was going to do video stops. It's like every day is a new video. Because you eventually run out of stamina. So right now, like when you have full stamina, you got the 5 bars, as you can see in the menu. But over time, especially on the left-hand side, you can see I'm tired, and you lose stamina. And then that kind of forces you to fall asleep. You could also do it based on the kind of the time of the day. So in the bottom left, you can see it's first light, so it's actually morning right now. But you could also go to bed when it's nighttime, because a lot of the craziness comes out when it's nighttime. So I'm actually gonna throw pretty much all of this. I want the wood back because we got a pallet for that, but everything else we're gonna throw in here. So now we're gonna build this sword, and then that's probably what I'm gonna call the video. We had the fuel, and now we got our sword. Yes. Yeah. No, this is a little bit all over the place. The first videos always are. It's kind of trying to explain the game itself, some of the gameplay, but the next videos and everything going forward will be more playthrough versus this is how you do that versus how you do this. It'll be more of us exploring and building things. So it'll get a lot better. Where this video is kind of introducing the game, some of the playthrough, how things work, what buttons to click. So going forward it'll be a lot better, I promise. But yeah, if you like this video, hit that subscribe button. Be sure to hit the bell for notifications so that you'll be aware of every time these videos come out. I'm gonna try to do at least one every Saturday. I might throw out a couple depending on bandwidth, or if I got anything else scheduled already in the day. But if you like this video, like I said, hit that subscribe, notify, and we'll continue to play through and try to get out of the mines of Moria, understand what has cursed the mountain, and reunite with our clan. Until next time, my name is Josh. This is Create the Future, and I'll see you later. Bye.